All right, look, I know everybody wants to get the next hot shot altcoin cryptocurrency to 1000x in 2.5 hours, but look, some of that is not realistic, right? Also, some of the information you consume can be short term beneficial, but long term, you're sacrificing pretty much everything. One of the ways I've been able to come up in cryptocurrency and make a lot of money, as well as in business, as well as in life, is my ability to read books. I know it sounds corny and might not be sexy, but it's the truth. Keep watching. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video. And believe it or not, yes, this is about cryptocurrency. When I first started off, guys, I was lost, right? And I know a lot of you probably are lost. There's been so much articles, misinformation, and pretty much the internet has a huge problem. There's overconsumption and there's too much information, right? So the biggest part of you actually making money in cryptocurrency is consolidating that or filtering out the negative stuff. Now, on the internet, remember, anyone can just type an article up and throw it up on the internet, regardless if it has any credibility or not. But when somebody creates a book, right, it takes a lot of time, some cases years, to actually craft an actual high quality informational, pamphlet called a book, right? I know it sounds, archaic, whatever you want to call it, but personally, this is the way I've been able to call a lot of investments long term and make some serious money, and understand what's really going on in the back of the scenes, right? Because sometimes, the internet can get to you, right? So I highly recommend you guys look at these 7 books. I've read every single one of them, some of them multiple times, and they have definitely changed my life. And if you appreciate these videos, do us both a favor, hit that subscribe button as well as the push notification bell. Also, smash the like button to get this to as many people as possible. Again, I'm giving you guys some of my book list here. So if you want to share in the comment section below what you think, if you've read it before, what's your favorite books, go ahead and detail that so I can look into them for myself, man. Let's grow together. So let's jump into the video. So the first book, it's a classic, right? And it's not just cryptocurrency, but it teaches you about business models and essentially like kind of super innovative technologies that change the world. It's called 0 to 1. Now, the reason why this is important is because if you don't understand how businesses work, how can you call the next business? How can you use fundamental analysis to understand the next greatest innovation? 0 to 1 explains the history of all the most successful businesses and why they did so well, and these innovations that pretty much changed mankind. We think that cryptocurrency is going to change mankind. A lot of parallels in there. And I think this is a great book for everybody to read. Number 2, Bitcoin Billionaires. Now, this one's great. This is like a storyline. It's really interesting how much money these cryptocurrency guys are making. And it's kind of like behind the scenes. There is going to be a movie potentially that comes out in the future. But basically, it just talks about the Winklevoss twins. It talks about billionaires. It talks about the whole behind the scenes storyline that a lot of people miss. This is one of those books that you can like literally watch a movie. Like it's like a story. It's great. It tells you how they think. It gives you a behind the scenes perspective on a lot of situations that most people kind of just pass up. Like these billionaires are really billionaires. They're making a lot of money. And they're kind of like fighting amongst each other. So yeah, it's one of those books that definitely must read. And I know a lot of people have been recommending it, so I can confidently recommend Bitcoin Billionaires. Number 3, probably one of the greatest books of all time when it comes to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin Standard. So the Bitcoin Standard essentially gives you the ultimate pitch or the ultimate argument for Bitcoin in the future. Now, the beauty of this is that the first couple of chapters doesn't even have to do with Bitcoin at all. They're explaining the history of money, right? They're talking about economics, right? And it explains a very simple and digestible way of exactly why Bitcoin is a superior form of currency compared to others. Now, again, the reason why I say this is one of the greatest books of all time, if you haven't read this yet and you're in cryptocurrency, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to understand where this comes from so you can accurately, one, tell people, and 2, stop faith investing. This will give you the faith you need. It will explain to you, again, the history of monies and how they crafted Bitcoin out of the principles of the history of money, not some new theory, right? That some economists made up 20 years ago. Some, they say modern monetary theory. It's not something new. This is something, again, Bitcoin was crafted from the fundamental laws of nature. Long story short, this is definitely something you need to read. And it's like literally probably out of this list, the most important if you haven't read it. Number 4, The Man Who Solved the Market. Now, this is a beautiful book when it comes to understanding and quantifying how serious people are in investing. Remember, when you're investing in cryptocurrency or any market on earth, you are trading against the biggest people, right? You're trading against quantum computers that are not actual quantum computers, but super powerful computers that are in some cases worth billions of dollars. These computers are massive, right? And this is the first person that created something called algo trading or algorithmic trading with Renaissance Technologies, was considered one of the best a hedge fund, medallion hedge fund on planet Earth, right? So this guy created basically supercomputers to actually trade algorithmically for the first time. And ever since then, nobody looked back. Pretty much every big trading firm uses cryptocurrencies. They're not using like human instinct anymore. We know we do that because we don't have the money to purchase these computers. But again, it's a very good book to understand the back ends of how finance works, and how the innovations come from these computers and these quantum computers. The man who solved solved the market, made a lot of money in Medallion Fund. It's a really good story. It talks about hedge funds and them going at each other, and a whole bunch of money being lost, a whole bunch of money being made. It talks about kind of the thinking process they had when creating it. And if you ever wanted to create your own fund, this is a great book. It doesn't have to do specifically with cryptocurrency, but it shows, it gives you a sneak peek how innovations in this market work. So definitely a good book to read. Go check it out. Number 5, Principles by Ray Dalio. Now, the great part about this is that Ray Dalio is a very successful investor. He's going to be teaching you principles of how to think, and his thought behind a lot of the decisions that he makes. Now, this is kind of similar to the man who solves the market. It's kind of like financial background in general. But remember, he's one of the most successful investors of all time, and he has a lot of input. His decision-making process is ridiculous. The way he thinks about things is crazy. He has these systems set up so that he can make accurate decisions about pretty much everything in life. He says that you should definitely integrate with computers in that way when you're making decisions, instead of leaving it up to human intuition and emotion. Essentially, you need to learn and stand on the shoulders of giants, and he is one to learn from when it comes to cryptocurrency. And he's actually not 100% pro crypto, but when it comes to finance, he knows what he's talking about, and you need to learn finance if you're getting into crypto. Definitely recommend that book. And number 6, Life After Google. This one is crazy. It talks about specifically, of course, cryptocurrency, but as well as how Google and the big tech are these big, like, massive companies with centralized power, and they're pretty much taking advantage of everybody. And he predicts that potentially someone's going to come in and take away that control through decentralization. But the beauty of this, it really opens your eyes, and a lot of people don't understand. But you're pretty much living in the matrix if you really think about it, because think about it, right? You're spending what, 7 hours a day on a computer if you work a computer job, and then you're on your phone for another 3 hours. So you're literally on a screen the vast majority of your time that you're awake. And there's companies that control that, right? They control your attention. So this will open your eyes when it comes to specifically big tech, obviously specifically Google, and what's going on in the scenes, and how decentralization could potentially break that up in the future. Again, big perspectives you need to understand to accurately invest in this market, and to understand why blockchain technology is the new innovations and the new future, the new decentralized internet, right? And then the last one, it's actually a marketing-based book, but I know a lot of people fall in these huge pitfalls in cryptocurrency when it comes to like specifically consuming information. It's called Trust Me, I'm Lying. Now, I haven't read this recently, but I read this a couple years ago, and it gave me a great perspective on how to actually research cryptocurrencies. And the reason I say that is because you kind of get an inside scoop into the back end of these reporters, these people that write these articles, right? These companies that give you the information that you consume. Like, what is their decision-making process? When I read this book, it freaked me out, right? And I say this because there's a lot of false information on the internet, right? And if you guys are reading the wrong articles, if you don't understand this perspective and how like a lot of the information you consume is wrong or fake or theory, right? You could be making the wrong decisions about your investments. This will show you the back end of marketing. It will show you the truth, and how in some cases they don't care about quality of information. They essentially care about just going viral, and that's pretty much it. I know a lot of you understand that, but remember, understanding and actually like invoking your life and really understanding and looking at it from an extremely deep perspective, it's two different things, right? Just knowing that there's BS information and actually seeing and quantifying how much BS information there is in the internet, two different things. I will highly recommend Trust Me, I'm Lying. It's one of those must-read books for your life so you can understand the internet and how this stuff works. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you appreciate this content, I can make another book series. I've read hundreds of books in the past. It doesn't have to be about cryptocurrency. We can talk about, just self-help and how to change your life in general. But yeah, that's it for this content. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism, subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.